was once a traveller on his way home after a long journey. A storm forced him to take a different route, and he came face to face with a wide river blocking his path. Upon seeing how quickly the water was flowing, the traveller became afraid to cross, fearing he might fall in. Fear is a funny thing that isn't particularly humorous. We're nearing a year since we all met that proverbial river blocking our path. There's been a lot of talk over the last year about what we should, could, will do, when, if, since it happened. I've been a part of conversations with folk who are really fearful, and if truth be told, I've been a bit fearful myself. Psalm 121 says this: I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Much like most of human emotion, fear is both beneficial and counterproductive at the same time. To the traveller in our story, fear helps him avoid drowning, but it doesn't solve the problem of crossing the river to get to where he needs to be. The need to cross the river meets head-on with the want not to drown, and there's this kind of face-off of sorts, a challenge to see which will prevail, which is the stronger driving force. Within that challenge, fear might provoke the need to look for alternative methods of transportation to mean that you don't get wet feet. The reason that you don't just blindly jump and hope that you make it across to the other side is that the fear of drowning helps to evaluate the risk of such an approach. Fear is useful in evaluating risk. It doesn't prevent the risk itself, but it can help to produce a more effective, efficient outcome. Fearing for their life, the traveller in our story might spot a branch that hangs over the river. The need to get over the river helps you spot the branch, but your fear is still there. It helps you to evaluate whether that branch is suitable for your needs. Is it big enough? Is it long enough? Is it one of those really annoying spiky ones? The need to get to your destination and the fear in doing so together work together to produce an effective outcome that they couldn't have concocted on their own. Now, this only works if there's something worth crossing the river in the first place. If not, crossing the river will suddenly be an infinite loop of what-ifs, maybes, mights, and so on. You'll be so paranoid about what might happen that you'll forget why you're there in the first place, where you're headed, where you came from. Instead of being a supporting influence, fear will become the dominant message. As the world steps back into whatever the new normal is, the traveller's story shows us that fear isn't a destination. If you're feeling fearful about what's next, it's time to assess where your journey's headed. If your journey has been derailed, which for so many of us it has, you get to decide where it goes now. The guiding force is a hope that what is across the other side of the river is actually worth the journey. It's worth the risk. It's totally fine to be fearful. You need to hear that. If you're feeling fearful today, that's okay. Just don't sit in it for too long. Fear is not a destination. It's not a happy resting place. Rather, allow your fear to shape what comes next, not to define your present situation. Psalm 121 has been coined a traveller's psalm, something to carry with you on a journey. And it ends with this: the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forevermore. It's almost as if the psalmist is saying he knows what happens, he knows what is happening, and he knows what will happen, and he's with you in all of it.